Yuki wept as she got off the Diamond Princess. It was really hard for me, she says, while thanking tireless crew members. Earlier in the week, she shot this video as she paced her cabin, waiting for the results of 2 coronavirus tests. But they came back negative, as they did for about 800 other people, given special bracelets to prove it, and all were allowed off on Wednesday. Officials say they showed no symptoms as the newly freed started to head home. And home is where we met Yuki in person, just 30 minutes drive from the ship. She wanted to meet outside. She's negative, remember, but was worried she'd get us sick. If for some reason I actually have the virus, she said, I don't want to be the one infecting others. When the quarantine began, she placed a lot of trust in Japanese health authorities. They said the best way to keep everyone safe was to keep people quarantined in their rooms. But as the number of cases kept rising, Yuki got nervous. She says every day it'd be 60, 70, 99 new infections. We were scared how powerful this is. U.S. health officials say the quarantine may not have been sufficient to stop the virus's spread. Japanese authorities admit no quarantine is 100% perfect, but this was and is the best option, and that most, if not all, new infections were contracted before the quarantine started. Some passengers and outside experts dispute that. Wednesday, as people disembarked, Princess Cruises president Jan Swartz was there to greet those lucky enough to be leaving. She spoke exclusively with CNN. And a lot of them have expressed concern over the situation. Some people say they didn't think the quarantine worked. Other people were concerned that because the crew wasn't in quarantine, that could have an effect on their safety. What do you say to those concerns, especially considering that there are still people on board?
You know, I think the entire operation from a medical and public health perspective has been run by the Japanese Ministry of Health. What I can say is today, as our guests disembarked, they had tested negative for coronavirus.
Swartz said she worked closely with Japanese health authorities and thanked them for their efforts, even as she felt for those on board.
This is an unprecedented situation. I mean, nobody going on vacation thinks that they're going to be notified in the last days that they've got an extension of 14 days and they're not going to be allowed to leave their cabin. So our heart breaks for everybody who experienced this situation.
Disembarkations continued into the night Wednesday. This video from an Australian who recorded her walk to freedom. Just 30 minutes away, Yuki's happy to be home, but still wary. I'm going to be anxious until the outbreak ends, she says. In other words, it's not over till it's over. Matt Rivers, CNN, Yokohama, Japan.